Welcome to SBL Mixing. Today we're going to do some recording. Specifically, we are going to do some drum recording with one microphone. In the future, I plan to expand the number of mics and we'll look at a few different ways that you can mic a drum set. But today is all about getting the most from a single microphone, and I was pleasantly surprised with the results. I think given the right song and circumstances, it could totally work if you're willing to spend that time to get a few things right that are within your control and make it work. Not all of us have the perfect drum room, myself included, or an expensive range of microphones. In most cases, you'll rely on the quality of the instrument, the performance, and the mic placement. Get those things right, and the processing that you add later will be much more straightforward. I'm starting at the most basic level, so one affordable microphone in an okay sounding room. Here's a quick before and after processing. Okay, so I have stripped out a lot of the stuff in the back of my room, done a bit of feng shui. I'll be the drummer and the recording engineer, a pretty common scenario for people nowadays who are recording at home. Let's dive in and take a look at the setup. I have quite a lot of mic cables coming out of the carpet here, but this is coming from snare top. The snare top, I'm actually going to point it down, if you can see that, towards the side of the kick drum. It's right next to the snare drum, and if you look up the other way, the back of the mic is actually facing the underside of the hi-hats. We are running the air preamp setting for this particular unit, which just adds a bit of a top-end boost. We'll see how that goes. We're set at 12 o'clock on the preamp. Cool, I'm just running back here to hit record. Here we go. Here's where we started. We've got a pretty good capture there of the kick drum and the snare drum. The hi-hats, I don't feel like that amount of bleed is such a big issue. Because ideally what I was aiming for was more of a darker recording, trying to capture that low end and then applying quite a lot of EQ to get the result that I was after. And I've gone in and I've put in the Pultec on some pretty extreme settings. Yes, it's on 30 Hertz, but it is quite a broad boost. These filters work against each other. I'm doing quite a big boost at 12K, but it's a broad boost. Okay, let's have a listen to that. Then I decided to add in this beast. What you'll find with mono recordings is if you want to bring out the sound of the tom-toms and things that aren't as close to that one mic, the way to do that is to compress the whole thing quite a lot harder and bring that out. It's actually parallel because I'm using a mix of the compression, so a mix of the fully compressed and a little bit of the dry before it gets compressed. Here's how that sounds. I don't even know that this is doing much. Let's have a listen. What I was trying to do is spread out the top end. This is the mono stereo version. Then we've got our plate reverb. That just sounds awesome. It adds so much life to it. I've adjusted the amount of decay here. What I've done after is I put on a bit of vitamin, which is spreading it, and it's monoing out some of the bass so that the bass information stays in the middle, and I'm just slowly spreading out that top end. Sounded pretty good to me. I've also then put a bit of a boost. I quite like the sound of pushing a lot of the lower mids there. So taking it from, once again, this to this. That's an SM57. So there you have it. If I could underline anything, it's to err on the side of capturing the lows accurately. It's much easier to add top end to a darker recording than the other way around. My hi-hats are naturally quite dark and do record well. However, you can hear that they still bled into the back of the microphone more than enough. You can get a decent sound with a mono recording, provided that you understand the limits of what you can and can't process later. There's no escaping the fact that you need to make up that difference with extra processing, which was EQ, compression, stereo widening, and stereo-based effects. It's a very nice drum set. It's a 1983 Yamaha recording custom with K Zildjian cymbals, and I've been playing drums for around 25 years. It's tuned pretty well. My room is currently only half treated, with the back end barely treated where the drums were, so not really ideal. But if you can, at the very least, get on top of the tuning, that is, the quality of the drum set, the performance, and the microphone placement, you can mostly overcome any shortcomings of your room or the microphone itself. In the future, I'll look at adding extra microphones, and I'll explain how to deal with each of those. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a video, become a patron on Patreon. You can also hire me as a mixing engineer for your next project. Links below in the description. I'll see you next time. Happy mixing and recording.